Welcome back to Business Today. Still talking on matters how we are handling the current economic turmoils and how we can make it better. And some of the propositions that we're getting is we have to have sort of a modern way of looking at the economy and mitigating some of these challenges. And earlier on, Tony was mentioning, some of the elements of a modern economic approach. But the issue is always inflation. They've seen the way the central bank has been, handling this issue of inflation, by changing the rates just to keep it at bay. Even what's happening in the US is impacting our market here based on them handling the inflation that way. Is it time that we take a different approach to this?
I think it is important for us to look for new ways. Even in 1936, when the monetary policies, the ones that they are using, did not work during the Great Depression, they came up with macro policies, or what we call fiscal policies. So even now, I think, as my colleague here is saying, we need to look for new ways of doing things. And I think we need to move away from what I call classical. They are not even called the traditional. They are called classical economists. Mm-hmm. The people who believe that economics is supposed to be the way it was. Mm-hmm. And we try to bring in new ideas that can be able to help us to mitigate the problem of inflation. The reason as to why Kenyans are complaining right now is the word inflation. It is at 9.2%, the increase in the prices of commodity in this country. Okay. Can we look for new ways of solving this problem if they are there?
Okay, definitely. Yes. Briefly, Tony, as we finish up?
In light of using a new approach, what I would say is the government is taking about 60 shillings tax from every litre of fuel. Why don't they simply just print that money and reduce the cost of fuel by 60 shillings? That assures government that they'll have revenue. And remember, they're only creating the exact same amount. We're not asking them to create more than what was there. We're saying take the liters and just remove your 60 shillings from there. Create that through the power that central bank already has. Reduce the pump price by 60 shillings. And tomorrow, inflation goes down.
The inflation bit of it?
The inflation goes down. What is inflationary about lowering the cost of living? You see, if you print too much money, you can cause inflation. But who says you have to print too much? You can print just enough. So what you're doing is replacing.
Okay.
You're replacing the 60 shillings with another, using the fiscal tool and bringing down the cost of fuel up to around 110 shillings per litre.
Okay.
And what will that do to the price of soda, water, mboga, fuel, transport? It will come down.
Okay.
And you lower the cost of living within 7 days.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I think that's enough to ponder on. All right? But what an idea. Modern monetary theory, MMT. Something that you can Google, check it out, and I believe that it will be of value.